Hey everyone, today we're going to take a look at the Gigabyte Aero 15 OLED. I have had this laptop now for over 8 months, maybe almost a year. I got it right around Cyber Monday and right before my birthday as a present to myself. So coincidentally, my birthday before the last one, I got me a Sony Bravia 4K OLED TV. And then this past birthday is when I got my Aero 15 OLED from Amazon. So the model I got is the one with the 4K OLED screen, and it has the Intel Core i7-9750H with a GeForce GTX 1660 Ti, 16 gigabytes of RAM, and a 512 gigabytes of storage. And I believe this is one of the base versions of the Aero 15 OLED. There's more expensive models, all the way up to, I believe, the Aero 15 OLED that comes with the RTX 2080 or 2070. And the model that I got is the 2019 version. They already have the 220 version now, which is almost the exact same laptop, only it has the 10th gen Core i7. And like I said, I got it on Amazon. I believe the time that I got it, they also had a sale, a Cyber Monday sale, because this laptop normally retails for like around $1,600, and I got it for around $1,300 off the sale on Amazon for Cyber Monday. So in this review, other than going over specs, which I already just told you guys, but I'm not going to go into a lot of benchmarks. I mean, benchmarks are useful when you want to know the potential of like your laptop or computer and how well it'll perform, especially like in games. But the Aero 15 OLED, and the reason why I got it is because it's marketed as a content creator's laptop, and me being a content creator, making contents and videos for YouTube, that's what I was going to mainly use this for. And I was mainly going to use this laptop as a content creator laptop when I'm on the go and I'm not at home. And unfortunately, with all the craziness in 2020 so far with COVID-19 and everything like that, that really didn't get to pan out as far as me using this laptop on the go. But because I've had this for almost a year, I pretty much know something about it. At least I should, and my use with it. So if this review gets too long, there'll be timestamps down below. But basically, I want to talk about, firstly, like I said, as a consumer, what you're getting for the money, for your hard-earned dollars. That means we're going to go over Gigabyte as a company and how they got started, their history, their company history, background, and how they are as a laptop maker. Then we're going to go over the specs again and features. We're going to talk about the build quality, and then we're going to talk about the display. And finally, I'm going to tell you guys and go over why I like using this laptop and my main uses with it so far. So let's get into the review. So Gigabyte was founded in 1986. And for all you do-it-yourselfers who've been building your own computers for at least over 10 years, you may know that they probably started out in making motherboards. And as of 2019, early 2020, I believe they're the second largest manufacturer of motherboards, next to Asus being number one. And so they branched out from making motherboards to now graphic cards. Then they make laptops. They make computer monitors, they make desktop PCs, they make peripherals, and they make PC components like your PC chassis, like your case, your power supplies, solid state drive, memories. So they branched out into a lot of other projects. They also have their Aorus gaming line, and of course, now they have their Aero line for content creators. One of the reasons why I've gotten Gigabyte is because when I first started building computers and I wasn't very good, I decided on a Gigabyte motherboard because they were the first ones to come out with the motherboard that had dual BIOS. That was one of their marketings for why you should get their motherboards. And dual BIOS comes in really handy because if you mess up your BIOS or something happens to the BIOS chip, it always has a backup. As you can see on the screenshot, in 1999 they patented the dual BIOS technology, or they announced dual BIOS in their PCB industry. Also, some of Gigabyte's components or mainboards are used by companies like Alienware, Falcon Northwest, Cybertron PC, Origin PC, and exclusively Technology Direct in Australia. Desktops with up to a 5-year warranty. Now, besides their patented dual BIOS technology in 1999, during their time as a company, they accumulated a lot of awards, as you can see here on the screenshot. Like 2006, accumulated more than 100 Taiwan Excellence Awards. 2009, received top 100 technology leaders in Taiwan. 2011, top 100 technology leaders in Asia. 3 years running, top 100 technology leaders in Taiwan. In 2015, they released the RS line with a mechanical keyboard and gaming mouse. And then they started making their RS laptops a year later in 2016. So it's fair to say they know what they're doing when it comes to PC components and laptops and desktops. One thing that I like researching, not just on the specs and features of said laptop for said company, but how are their customer reviews or ratings, not just the professional reviews. And unfortunately, that's where Gigabyte kind of falls short. And as you can see here on their Better Business Bureau's website, out of 14 reviews, they only got 2 5-star ratings, and most of the rest were 1-star. So take that for what you will. Trustpilot, they got 1.5-star rating. Reseller ratings, 1-star. So it's fair to say Gigabyte needs to work on their customer service. But anyways, that's Gigabyte, and that's what you're dealing with. As far as their customer service rankings, I wouldn't let it discourage you. I didn't let it discourage me, and I've been pretty happy with all of the products that I've gotten from them so far. Gigabyte is not paying me to say this, but every computer that I built with their motherboards have been working well so far, and I never really had any big issues with them. And same thing with this laptop so far in the almost 1 year that I've owned it. So take that with a grain of salt. As far as the customer service reviews, your experience may be different than my experience and vice versa. But at least you know Gigabyte has been around for a while. They do have customer service, not very good, at least based on customer reviews. And they do have a contact number. They were one of the first companies to launch a US headquarters and also other countries. So you shouldn't have any difficulties in getting a hold of them. You just might have difficulties trying to talk to them. Anyways, I just wanted to be straight up with you on how Gigabyte is based off of customer reviews. But for me, I've had nothing but good experiences from using their motherboards and now their laptops. So if you head on over to Gigabyte's website for the Aero 15 OLED, you can see there's a bunch of different models ranging from my model, which is the entry level version. I believe it's called the OLED SA version with the Intel Core i7-9750H. And if you go to Intel's website, the Core i7 is a 14 nanometer processor with 6 cores and 12 threads. The base frequency is 2.60 gigahertz and a max turbo boost efficiency of 4.50 gigahertz. And my laptop has the GeForce GTX 1660 Ti with 6 gigs of RAM built into the GTX 1660 Ti. So I did not get the RTX versions, even the lowest of the RTX, which is the RTX 2060, because the price will go up the higher the GPU you get, or the more higher end GPU, mobile GPU that you get for this laptop. I figured that because I wasn't going to be gaming a lot, if at all, that much on the laptop, and I'm only going to be using it for work and content creation, the GeForce GTX 1660 Ti was all that I needed. And it also came with 16 gigs of RAM, but it's expandable. It has an M.2 PCIe SSD that's 512 gigabytes with Intel Optane technology. It came with Windows 10 Home, but I reinstalled Windows 10 Pro on here, and has a 94. It has one of the bigger batteries for a thin and light. It has a 94 watt per hour battery built into this laptop. And like I said, the reason why I got this is for content creation and because of that beautiful Samsung 4K UHD AMOLED panel that it comes with. According to Gigabyte, it's the most attractive 15.6 inch AMOLED 4K display ever. And I kind of agree with that. Supports 100% of the DCI-P3 color gamut. Like I said, it's a Samsung AMOLED panel, and as we all know, or if you don't know, now you know, Samsung makes some of the best OLED panels. It's VESA certified, display HDR 400. But yeah, I can't say enough good things about the display on the Aero 15 OLED by Gigabyte. But another great thing about this laptop, even for being so thin and light, at least compared to my Asus Republic of Gamers laptop, is that there are a lot of ports on here. You'll never have to go the dongle life on this laptop. It's got an RJ45 port for your Ethernet. It has a combo audio jack, USB 3.1 Gen, 3 of those USB ports. It has HDMI 2.0, a fast SD card reader built in, and not just micro SD, but regular size SD, the kind that's found in your cameras, like your professional cameras. It's got Thunderbolt 3. I mean, yeah, no shortage of ports for such a thin and light laptop. It also has a fingerprint scanner for Windows Hello login, although you can't use the bottom nose cam for Windows Hello, which is fine by me. The Aero 15 OLED also comes with SupraCool 2, their next gen cooling, which have 2 71 blade fans, 5 heat pipes, 11 vents, which is 30% better than their last SupraCool first generation. It's got fast Ethernet from Killer and also has Wi-Fi 6, also from Killer. The memory modules that they have, the 16 gigs, are from Samsung, and Samsung does make quality memory. And last but not least, they were one of the first laptops to be a partner with Microsoft Azure AI, which is an artificial intelligence for your laptop based on how you use it. This one, I'm not going to say too much about it. I don't really use it as much because I don't know. I'm just old-fashioned in the sense that when I'm thinking about AI, I'm thinking of something that might, because it's Microsoft, they might be using the AI software to track my activities on my computer, and I don't like any company trying to know what I do on my computer. And I just mentioned it has a 94 watt hour battery built in, which is a very big battery for such a thin and light laptop, which Gigabyte says is good for up to 8 hours of use. And then they have their Gigabyte Fusion keyboard, which is RGB lighting, and the lighting is per key, supporting 16.7 million colors and supports 80 simultaneous key presses. This has the Nahimic 3 surround sound experience, but come on, man. Surround sound experience on a laptop. Let's just say for a laptop, the speakers on this Gigabyte Aero 15 OLED are decent, especially because they're firing from the bottom and not from the top. They sound decent. Probably better than most laptops, but not the best. But they're okay. They're pretty decent, like I said. So the Gigabyte Aero 15 is made out of a whole block of aluminum to produce the laptop lid, and also I believe the bottom of the laptop. And being made out of aluminum means it's going to be a pretty good build and strong laptop. But because aluminum is lighter than other metals, the laptop's weight is only 2 kilograms, or just a little over 4.4 pounds. Now I could go on and on about all the specs and features, but let's just leave it at that. So like I said in the beginning, I'm not going to show you guys too much benchmarks on this review. If you guys want to see benchmarks, there's a lot of other channels that do that. But I'm going to tell you guys from a content creator's perspective how this laptop has been working for me so far. And so far it's been pretty good. Now, if you guys don't know, I also built my own desktop computer with the Gigabyte Gaming 7 motherboard, probably about like almost 3 years now. And that had an AMD Ryzen Threadripper with 12 cores in that computer. And it also came with a GTX 1080 amped version from Zotac. So that's still my main video editing laptop. But I have, at least since this year in 2020, I have edited at least half of my videos that are on this channel with this laptop. All the new videos for 2020. I use DaVinci Resolve as my main video editor, or only video editor, and the Aero works really well with it. The Aero, I believe, is one of the few laptops, especially for content creation, that comes with Nvidia Studio drivers out of the box. And if you install Nvidia's GeForce Experience app on your laptop, you can choose between game ready drivers or studio drivers. I use studio drivers. I was using game ready drivers in the beginning. And with the GeForce Experience, when you get driver updates, you can choose whether to update with studio drivers or game ready drivers. For a while, I was using game ready drivers because I didn't think there'd be any difference, because the game ready drivers seem to always be ahead of the studio drivers as far as in numbered versions. But then I went back to studio drivers because when I was using the game ready drivers, I would notice every now and then there'd be crashes on both my laptop and my desktop, where when I was in the middle of work, all of a sudden the DaVinci Resolve would just stop working. It would like just crash, like it would just disappear off the screen. And then I had to click on the icon for DaVinci Resolve to get the program back up again. I don't know why it was doing that, but once I switched back to the studio drivers, I had no issues or bugs with DaVinci Resolve. And so I got this laptop, like I said, because I wanted something at least powerful enough that I can do video editing on the go with my laptop. And as you guys know, with all of 2020, with COVID-19 and all this quarantine and isolation, I haven't really used it out much as far as that goes, but I did try to like use it for half of the videos I made on here for 2020 just to see how it does, and it does pretty well. Normally in my old laptop, to do a 15-minute video in 4K, and now my old laptop doesn't even work no more, but it took me a 15-minute video almost an hour to make a 15-minute 4K video. And while it's rendering in 4K, you can't use other apps with it. You can't have other apps running in the background. With the Gigabyte, it runs maybe 20%, 30% slower than my desktop, even though it's the newer model out of the two, because my desktop is, like I said, almost 2 years old, and the Aero right here is not even a year old. It has the newer parts, but it doesn't have the newest high-end parts in here, so I'm okay with that. On my desktop, it usually takes 15 minutes, give or take, to make a 15-minute video in 4K. If I did it with this laptop, it'll be a little bit slower, maybe a little over 25 minutes to do the same project. But where this laptop beats my desktop is in transferring video files off the SD card. The laptop is almost twice as fast in transferring video files from my camera, my Panasonic Lumix G85, because the Aero 15 OLED has a very fast UHS 2 SD card reader, where my desktop does not have any card reader built into the computer, or at least when I built it. So you have to use a USB SD card adapter, and most of the ones that I have are not as fast for my desktop. So all in all, when working on this laptop, my work is just a little bit slower than working and editing on my laptop, because whereas the desktop is a little more powerful and can render videos a little bit faster, this Aero 15 OLED with its SD card reader saves me time transferring files off the SD card reader compared to my desktop, that it's so much faster than the desktop in transferring files, that the time work in making and editing videos is not too far off from my desktop. Maybe a difference of just 5 minutes, maybe 10 minutes at the most. Anyways, man, did I tell you about this display? It has got to be one of the most beautiful displays for any laptop or even any monitor, period. And ever since I got this laptop, I've probably been watching more Netflix on this laptop than I do on my Sony 55-inch A1 OLED TV. I mean, it's just super sharp. The pictures are so beautiful and it's so vibrant, but yet the picture's not too overblown or made too vibrant, because it is a very color accurate panel out of the factory. And yeah, so ever since I've had it, I have edited half of my videos on this laptop in 2020 for this channel, and I don't really miss much from my desktop, other than maybe sacrificing a little bit of speed and time here or there. And it actually has some advantages over my desktop. Like, my desktop that I built did not come with a monitor. I actually have my desktop plugged into my Sony OLED TV as its monitor. The Aero 15 OLED laptop comes with the monitor included in the price. And on top of that, it's way more portable than my desktop. My desktop is a full tower, all glass, tempered glass, and it's a very heavy desktop. And I don't plan on taking that anywhere. So it does have that advantage. It's much more portable than my desktop. It has a way faster memory card reader than my desktop, or the ones that I use for my desktop, the USB memory card readers, adapters. And it's also got faster Wi-Fi. So when you take that faster Wi-Fi in consideration, because I do have to upload my videos through the internet to YouTube. The workload, like I said, it balances out pretty much as far as time it takes to complete a whole video and then upload it to YouTube. I wish I could tell you that I gamed on this laptop, but if I told you that, I would be lying, because since I've owned this laptop, I haven't done any kind of gaming on it. And even on my desktop, I only gamed on it maybe once or twice because it came with the free Destiny's 2 game. And so I played it just to see what it was like on my desktop. But on my laptop, I really haven't gamed at all. Like I said, I've been mostly using it for entertainment. That's watching movies and shows on Netflix. And then a lot of video editing. Like I said, half of my editing was done on this laptop for all of my videos on YouTube in 2020. But I'm pretty sure, I'm very confident if I were to game on this laptop, I would have no issues with gaming. I might have to like set the resolution a little bit lower than 4K, maybe 1440 or 1080p, and not use the highest settings in games. But I'm pretty sure it wouldn't have any problem. It scored pretty well in PC Mark and also 3D Mark. Considering it's only a little bit slower than my desktop as far as processing power goes, editing for video editing, and it's a lot faster in uploading videos to YouTube. Like I said, my workflow didn't really change much from going to my desktop to my laptop. And since this laptop is only a little bit less powerful than my desktop, and my desktop has no problems running games even in 4K, I'm pretty sure this laptop, when I do decide to play games on it, won't have any issues also. I just, like I said, have to turn the resolution down and maybe bump down the settings to like, instead of ultra, to maybe like medium in games. Okay, let's talk about build quality. As mentioned already in the feature section, this laptop, the bottom and top covers, is made out of CNC aircraft grade aluminum. And there's pretty much no screen flex on this laptop when I tested it. Also, there's very minimal keyboard flex inside the laptop. I mean, this whole laptop just feels sturdy and strong. And for a powerful laptop, it's nice and thin. It's almost as thin as my Asus VivoBook Flip 14, as you guys can see in the video. And out of the box, it is a good looking laptop. And with my carbon fiber skin that I have just put on, I think it looks even way better now. But your taste may vary. Some people may prefer the laptop how it looks as is. Some might even go to the extreme lengths of painting this laptop. And then some others, like myself, will try to get a skin for it to give it a different look. So all in all, I have no complaints about the build on this laptop or the build quality. Gigabyte also offers a limited 1-year warranty for the laptop from the date of purchase, I believe, and that includes the battery. But hopefully I won't run into any kind of issues with this laptop, because I don't want to have to try to contact Gigabyte based on the customer reviews that I've shown you guys earlier. Speaking of the keyboard, the new Gigabyte Aero 15 OLED keyboard has the all-new Gigabyte Fusion technology or software. The keys have a very good tactile feel, but take that with a grain of salt, because I'm not really a fast typist or whatever typer on any kind of keyboard, regardless if it's a laptop or a desktop. The Gigabyte Fusion supports 16.7 million colors and supports 80 simultaneous key presses per key macro function. The only thing I didn't like with the keyboard is, as mentioned earlier, the secondary function keys don't light up. Only the main keys light up. And the RGB lighting is per key. So the new Gigabyte Aero 15 OLED laptops now come with Windows Precision drivers, and the trackpad is very nice and responsive, although I do wish it was a little bit bigger, because to me it seems pretty small compared to other laptops in this 15-inch size class of laptops. And also the fingerprint reader is right inside that touchpad, so it kind of messes with the whole area or surface of contact and touch with the trackpad. Speaking of the fingerprint scanner, I don't know if it's just me, but I think it is just me, because I have a hard time with any type of fingerprint scanner, regardless if it's the one here on the Aero 15 OLED or my phone, or like going to the gym before all this COVID stuff hit and using the fingerprint scanners at the gym. My fingers do not like get read well at all with any kind of fingerprint scanner. On this Aero OLED 15, sometimes it reads my fingerprints really fast, and at other times I have to like run my finger through the fingerprint reader 2 or 3 times just to get my laptop to unlock. But all in all, the keyboard and trackpad perform well. Just a little bit of nitpicking with me that I've personally found that I didn't like, and hopefully it'll get improved upon with future revisions of this laptop. And finally, we get to battery life and thermals. So the battery life on this Aero 15 OLED laptop is good. It's not great. The first time I did a battery rundown test was when I first got the laptop and I had all my apps installed, and I started running benchmarks on the laptop, and in between the benchmarks I would edit a video and render it, and the laptop lasted just a little over 3 hours and 30 minutes. The second battery rundown test, I was watching movies and doing some web surfing here and there, just some light usage, and I got 7 hours and 58 minutes. So it's pretty close to their rated like 8 hours of runtime. But to be honest, I don't really care if the battery life on this laptop is not that good. I'm pretty sure most content creators, when they're on the go, all they want is the portability and power of the laptop. And once they get to the place that they're going to do their editing, which is probably like in a hotel room or something, you're going to have the laptop plugged in. So no complaints with the battery life. Thermals. I didn't really do any kind of measurements on thermals or temperatures on this laptop. All I know is that the whole time I've had it, when it's running intensive tasks like video rendering, it doesn't really get that hot, at least by feel. I couldn't feel any heat coming from the laptop, either from the back of the laptop, from the exhaust, or the keyboard. And the only way I knew that it was running somewhat hot is when the fans would kick in when you're running intensive tasks. And the fans can get pretty loud, which is kind of annoying, but it doesn't bother me too much because I would rather have a cooler running laptop than a overheating laptop that has to throttle because the cooling on the laptop is not as good. So far, the Aero is one of the few laptops I've had that have never had any issues with cooling. It's got one of the better or best, one of the best cooling designs for a thin and light workhorse powerful laptop. I could go on and on about how much I love this laptop and how it was a very well worth it investment, and talk some more about its features, but that would probably take a whole movie. It would be an epic, to be quite honest with you. So in summary, this is a great looking laptop. It's got outstanding build quality. It's got one of the most beautiful displays on any kind of electronic device, and that includes like your smartphones, your tablets, your 4K TVs, etc. This has a very beautiful color calibrated out of the factory display. Speaking of the display, it's also pretty good in bright or direct sunlight, although not the best. It does get pretty bright considering that it is HDR 400, and to be HDR 400 certified, you have to have at least 400 nits of brightness on your screen. The laptop has plenty of ports, from USB A 3.1 gen ports to USB C to Thunderbolt ports, and Ethernet port, HDMI port. It's got, like I said, an outstanding, very fast SD card reader. I mean, there just a lot to like about this laptop. The only cons is number one is with the display being so beautiful. I wish it was a touch display, but that's only wishing. And the keyboard. The keyboard, like I said, the function and secondary keys don't light up. So when you're trying to type, unless you memorize where the keys are, which I don't, I have to actually look at the keys when I type, and it's dark, then I have to like use my flashlight or my studio light to get a look at the secondary keys, like your at mark, question mark, hashtag mark, and $sign mark, and things like that. So this is my long-term 9-month review of my Aero 15 OLED. Highly recommended. I love this laptop. If you guys are interested in this laptop or any of its variants of the Aero 15 OLED, I will put a link for Amazon in the description. That's where I got it. Do consider using the links in my description, as it does help out my channel grow better, and it helps out my charity, the Wounded Warrior Project for disabled veterans. If you guys have any questions for me, please leave them in the comments if I missed anything, and I will try to get back to you as soon as possible. If you haven't already, please like and subscribe. Follow me on Instagram at The Workout Geek for all my latest happenings and great workout tips. Till next time, everybody, take care, stay safe, stay healthy, and have a fantastic, outstanding day.